We're hoping to be able to test it out soon as we hopefully can head north, really put it through its paces and see if it is the comfortable right setup for us.
Check back with us in a couple of months
and we'll tell you how it went.
Tell us what you really think.
A while back we decided to switch from a rooftop tent to a swag. So we're going to tell you now what we really think of it.
So to summarise the reasons that we wanted to change to a swag, the main ones were getting down the ladder at night for a wee, comfort factor. The last one, the big one as well, was having a base camp, not having to pack away your rooftop tent to be able to drive down the beach like we are here at Ningaloo. We can leave our swag set up and take off for the day, come back, we still have our spot, still set up, nothing to do.
Yeah, so all the reasons that we decided to switch from the rooftop to the swag was a thumbs up.
Yeah, it is. We like it.
Yeah.
Much better than really a rooftop for us.
For us. As far as getting out of for a wee in the night, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious it's easier to get out of than climbing down a ladder. Number two was that it was more comfortable. The rooftop made it very hard to fold and pack away with enough bedding in there to really make it a comfortable bed, which meant you had to carry bedding separate to the tent, whereas the swag, check this out. So the rooftop tent and the swag both come with a 70mm thick mattress, but what we've done with the swag is added an eggshell memory foam topper from Clark Rubber. There's the original mattress with the topper on top. Couldn't have done that in the rooftop because it just would not have packed away with the extra foam on top of it. But in the swag, it rolls up really easily. So it means I don't get sore pressure points from it digging into my hips digging into the ground. This is a standard queen size mattress, whereas the rooftop tent came in a weird size.
Yeah, it was a bit odd, wasn't it? They said a queen, but it wasn't exactly a queen.
And you couldn't get a normal sheet to fit it, whereas this is standard queen size fitted sheet.
It's the real deal.
Fits this mattress. In fact, this bed is bigger than the bed in our caravan.
Right. The third major thing for us is not having a base camp. And a good example of that would be when we were at Mitchell Falls on the Gibb River Road last year. We spent 6 weeks in the swag. We drove 80 k's into Mitchell Falls, went for the whole day, drove 80 k's back out on a not so great road, and it's those times where you really can't be bothered resetting up your camp, and we didn't have to. We actually still had everything there, our chairs, the swag set up. We didn't have to do a thing.
And our campsite was secured, so we didn't have to find another spot when we got back. We found a couple of other bonuses of having the swag over the rooftop tent.
First one, and one that doesn't cost you, is there's a lot less to break. So in our last video, we were talking about how we actually broke one of the really heavy duty brackets and a few other things, vibrations from mounting points. This doesn't have any of that. It has canvas, poles, and a mattress, some zips.
We did lose a set of poles.
Yeah,
and we broke a set of poles.
That's probably from me being rambunctious when I set up.
Captain Patience over here.
All right.
Hey, we did fix it with gaffer tape and cable ties though.
Gaffer fixes everything.
Evidently this is not night time. With it open completely, you can see just how much you can see outside. There is just something about sleeping in a swag when it's completely open to viewing stars at night in the sky and sunsets and sunrises in the morning. Sunsets, if you're having an early one.
The Midge mesh on the swag is really impressive too. It keeps the flies, it keeps the mozzies, and most importantly, it keeps the sandflies out of the swag. We did have one night where we had to go to bed at, was it about 6:30?
Yeah.
Because the mozzies came out Oh my God, there were swarms of mosquitoes. The only refuge we had was inside the swag.
They're not just mozzies, but
Midges too.
those dreaded midges, sandflies.
Yeah.
The worst, but they do not get in
The
this.
midgie mesh held up, so it was pretty good. Switching from the rooftop tent to the swag, the best way for us to carry the swag was to switch to a roof rack, which having a roof rack then gave us the option to get a rooftop bag and carry some other stuff up here. So it freed up a whole heap of space for us.
Fishing rods, all sorts of stuff. And the other thing is there's better handling, you're not as top heavy, and weight saving as well on your car.
We've saved some weight since our last
Weight
video.
saving.
A normal roof rack also made it much easier to fit a awning off the side of the car as well. So we now have the added bonus having
An awning.
to put out when we drive along the beach. Well, we don't have it out while we're driving, that would be silly. To really make sure the swag setup worked for us, we decided there were a few things that needed improving.
And here are our top tips. Here's the first and probably the biggest tip for you. Anyone who's ever owned one of these big Daddy Deluxe swags will probably be aware of the way the sides can droop in on you, and when you're inside, particularly with two people in there, when the sides droop in, it can feel a little bit claustrophobic. So you can see how these sides, they're not quite tight and they do tend to sag in the middle. Now what a lot of people will do is use hockey straps and put one on each side from here to try and pull it tighter. And they put one end on the pegs here down to the peg on the ground. We've come up with another idea for you.
So as you can see inside the swag, if we have my half of the swags sagging in, and although this side is nice and bright and light because it's open at the moment, if you're closed in with both sides, it really eats into the amount of interior space inside the swag when this is falling in on you as it does naturally. So here's what we've come up with. We've got a piece of conduit and a couple of joining pieces, just standard joiners, and a couple of little rubberized feet so it doesn't dig into the canvas base of the swag. Now we did this all as one piece, and we just bent this over a fire actually at one of our campsites. And we just got it to the right sort of angle and then cooled it off, and you can see that just expands those side walls out and creates so much extra room in here. Makes it way less claustrophobic. To make it easier to get up and get the swag on and off the roof rack, we bought one of these. You've probably seen these online. This is an SUV Doorstep. So you just hook it in your door jamb like that and use it as a step. To access the roof rack so much easier.
My, how tall you are, Franny.
That's the thing, I'm not tall. So this is great, this helps me. We've got another little step genius idea at the back here too. Oops, don't fall down. The height of our ute is a bit higher than your average ute, got a bit more clearance. So for me to get up on the back, I really need a step on the tow ball. We got this safety step. That's another story. We'll tell you what we really think of that another time. However, we've got it on there and it works, and it means I can climb up on the back to access both the tray and the roof rack. When your bed's this close to ground level, one of the annoying things is getting dirt inside the swag. So if you don't have one of these, this was a great buy. We bought, ours is a tidy turf, but you're also known as Muk Mats, and they're like a fake grass. We use ours for the caravan as well, but you can actually get pieces that run the full length of the swag, and the amount of stuff they stop you tracking in, 100% worth the money.
No brainer.
No brainer. Storage storage inside the swag is very minimal. Basically, it's a space for your bed. But sometimes you want to put a few things inside the swag with you, like wet shoes, a torch, your sunglasses for when you get up in the morning, a hairbrush maybe. So rather than have them on the bed or on the end of the bed where you have to rustle around looking for them in the morning, we found this. We got this from Bunnings. It's $11. It's perfect. It's got a couple of little loopholes. It's a tool holder. Stories. I just tie it to the couple of the loops that hang from the crossbar, and you can hang things in there. It just hangs in the space above our feet, and you can put your stuff in there, and if you need to find it in the night, it's easy to just stick your hand in there and there everything is that you need.
Like.
Also means your shoes aren't outside either getting damp in the dew, morning dew, or getting spiders or frogs in.
Okay, so next is a good quality bag. When we got the Big Daddy Deluxe swag, we also bought, as an optional extra, the heavy duty canvas bag that you can get for it. Then we went to Darwin for the wet season. Excuse me, bloody flies.
Flies about today.
Yeah, shocking today. So we went to Darwin for the wet season. It was very wet, and that really put that bag through its paces. And unfortunately, for us, it just didn't cut mustard.
No. Found out the hard way. Opened the swag up. Mould.
And if you've got any questions about how to get rid of mould, feel free to whack a question in the comments below, and we'll be happy to help, because wow, did we do some research on how to get rid of mould.
That was a mission, and not only did we do it once, but we did it twice. So you think we would have learnt, but we bought, the big thing for us was we needed to buy a really good quality waterproof bag to continue to store the swag up on our roof racks.
And 100% waterproof too, wet seasons.
Yeah. So that was another big tip, is to invest in a really good quality waterproof bag. Now, this is the one we went with. We found it was really hard to buy a swag bag, an aftermarket swag bag, that was big enough for the Big Daddy Deluxe. It's quite a big swag, although there are more of them coming out that size these days, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one we found. Birkin Wheels, good Australian brand. Poly bag, like your dry bags that you get for kayaking. So yep, we thought this was great.
Actually is a complete dry bag too. So
Folds up.
You actually have your proper roll up
And buckled end.
and buckled, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is completely waterproof.
Well, it is now.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what we really think about this bag in another one. However, investing in a good waterproof bag for your swag is another important thing if you're going to make the swag setup work for you. Another thing about the swag being easy to use is about how easy it is to roll it up and pack it away. So the swag bag you buy has to be big enough that it's nice and easy to pack the large swag with the extra bedding, and we leave our big doona in there. We don't use a sleeping bag, we just use our normal doona in there, and it's been warm. We've slept in there on 1 degree nights and had to crack the window open because it was too hot in there. So we're not worried about the warmth in there. So being able to roll it up with all that extra bedding and the eggshell mattress topper and your doona in there, these are the straps that they give you to roll the swag up and tie it off. This is the length of the strap they give you, so the tighter you roll your swag, that's all you've got to wrap around it and tie
It actually
it off.
looks pretty long, but when you've got
This
your
much
bedding,
swag with your bedding in there, it's not quite long enough for strap. And also, you've only got these little D-shackle clips to pull against to pinch it all up nice and tight. So what we've done, we don't use those ones, so we got a couple of these cam buckle straps. 2 metre, is that a 2 metre? I reckon that's about a 2 metre.
yeah, I think it is, yeah.
And we just throw that under it as we're rolling it up, and they're so much better to pull the swag nice and tight.
Get tight. I thought that the metal bit would be bad for the vinyl base of the swag. It hasn't marked it or anything. They actually pull up quite neatly and they don't dig in at all.
Yeah. So, are we happy we swapped from a rooftop tent to a swag?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely the right choice for us.
Yep.
We've been pretty lucky to have only needed to use it in really dry or warm climates, like the top end. We never really tested it in rainy weather or anything like that.
We've used it on a couple of really cold nights and it was good, but yeah, no, we haven't had to pack it away wet, really.
No. Actually, in saying that, we did have a mate stay with us here, and it absolutely poured down one night, and it did leak. So,
yeah.
And the places it leaked were these loops here, where they actually join on under there. It came through where they're actually sewn into that stitching and dripped down on him. So that was uncool. But
not too bad a leak for considering it was raining in sideways that night.
Yeah, it was pretty tragic.
He managed
Glad it
to
was
stay
him and not
pretty
us.
dry. It's very easy to set up. You do get a little bit dirty rolling it up and packing it away.
Yeah, if you're on dirty, dusty ground. There's been some times on the Gibb River Road where
you don't put your best clothes on, but then who's wearing the best clothes camping anyway?
Camping's not about beauty. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep, that's it for part 2 of our swag versus rooftop tent review. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, make sure you check that one out. And if you like what you see, feel free to give us a thumbs up. And if you're keen to see more of our vids, then make sure you hit the subscribe button as well.